So step one in making the best apple pie is to buy these because they're very easy and delicious. And take it out of the refrigerator for about maybe up to an hour before you start your pie, so they come looking like this, so that it unrolls easy. And I just unrolled one and stuck it right there in the bottom of my tin pie plate. Now I use tin because I'm bringing this over somebody's house. Normally I'd use glass or ceramic, but I've lost a lot of pie plates that way over the years, so this time I'm using tin. So most apples will make a good apple pie. The one I try to stay away from is Macintosh, just because they end up being a little mushy, but here I have a combination of Braeburn and a couple of Granny Smith. I wouldn't use all Granny Smith just because they tend to be real sour. But anyway, now I get to the peeling and cutting, which takes the most time. Okay, so this is the easiest way to core these, is just what I do is cut them in quarters and then, slice that part out. Maybe you got that little hard part. And then I just do this for each of the peeled apples. And by the way, you notice I didn't peel all of them because I probably have too many. And by the way, this I'll cut into slices about, that one looks a little skinny, but it's not too fussy, but about that big. Forgot to tell you, we put about a tablespoon of flour in the bottom of the pie crust. Why? Because my mother always did that, and there's no better reason. So as I'm cutting the apples, I just put them right in the crust, and you can see the difference between the Braeburns and the Granny Smith apples in color, and I try to spread them out so every slice has a little bit of both. A few final ingredients before we seal up the pie. I use about a third of a cup of brown and white sugar, a little bit of butter, maybe a tablespoon, and of course some cinnamon. Okay, so here's what it looks like before I put the top crust on with the little pieces of butter. And you can shake on as much cinnamon as you want, probably not much more than, say, a couple of teaspoons. And you can put even more sugar if you want to. I only put a total of 2/3 of a cup, but if you like it real sweet. But remember, there's the ice cream that goes on top too, so you have some sugar in that as well. Alright, so here's my top crust, which has been sitting out for a couple hours now, so it's pretty soft. And I just unroll the thing, plop it on top, hope that it all fits in there. And yeah, nothing too fancy. I just kind of go around and do my best to kind of close up the lid. Go. I was doing this once and I remembered I forgot the cinnamon. Had to open it up again. So you see, this isn't, like I said, not too fancy. Some people take a fork and go around, and then we have to have some escape holes for the steam. I also use these holes to stick a knife in to see if the apples are cooked enough. So you can make a couple kind of big. And now it's ready for the oven. By the way, the pies leak in the oven, so I use this little tray to put the pie on so it doesn't leak into the oven. And there she is, cooking up a storm. So I'm lowering the heat from about 425 to 350 because it's been cooking for about 10 minutes, and that was long enough to get a nice browning on the top. But now I'm putting in a piece of tin foil, so that'll keep it from getting too brown. And it'll be ready at this point in about an hour. We'll check it in about 45 minutes. So it's been cooking now for, let's see, 10 minutes at 400 degrees without any tin foil, and then another 40 minutes at 350 with tin foil on top, and then I took that off 5 minutes ago, the tin foil that is, cooked another 5 minutes, and as you can see it's looking pretty good. And now what I do is I just kind of poke in some of these holes to see how hard the apples are. And there's a little, they're not quite ready yet, so I'm going to give it another like 8 minutes. So there you have it, beautiful looking pie with only the best ice cream, because we're going to have this for Thanksgiving dinner, and we're going to bring it to our friend's house. Hopefully it tastes as good as it looks, and for any of you that lost track, look at the steam coming out of that. That's awesome. This cooked for a total of 1 hour and 10 minutes. So here we are, Thanksgiving dinner, having dessert, and we have to assess the pie. Of course, this is what it looks like on the plate. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how would you assess the pie?
I would give it a 10.5.
That's a good answer.
At you.
And what about you, sir? What do you think?
I like the crust.
Yep. Be honest. It's okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
The apples are the right size. I like getting into a nice pie.
Yep.
Apple pie. And the season is just correct.
Beautiful.
And, I can't overdo her husband, so I'll give it a 10.
That's what I was hoping for. And you, Madame, what do you say on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, actually, I'll give this a 10 because I like an apple pie that's not too sugary.
2/3 of a cup of sugar, 1/3 brown, 1/3 white.
And there's some cinnamon in here someplace.
Couple of teaspoons.
And that
maybe.
was a nice, that's nice. It was a nice.
It wasn't overwhelming.
Nothing was overkill.
Nothing was overpowering.
And the crust is very flaky, very tasty, flaky. But you didn't put calories in this crust.
No. This is the dietary.
Nice crispy apples too.
Yeah. The apples are in still very nice shape. I mean, what a nice.
Pick from Cedar Farm.
See that?
The apples are still. Nothing was overcooked, undercooked. The seasoning was very nice job. I'm impressed.
Well, there you have it.
The
So
only thing missing is a hot cup of coffee.
you too can now make a delicious apple pie. Oops, it's all gone now. One bite.
Well, wait a minute.
Yep.
If we're going to have to make the pie, are you girls going to core it and peel it?
Well,
Of course
we
they
have
are.
some instructions on how to do that, just for you. Okay, so it's been cooking. Oh yeah, looking pretty good there. Let's see, I want to burn myself. Ouchie.